ser perto de mim até o apagar da velha chama. E eu que era triste,
Hi there. Just noticed that we are already live. So, first of all, I would like to welcome you all that you're here to watch this moment, to share this moment with us. It's such a pleasure to be here telling a little bit more about Green Sampa. Yeah, it's really an honor to be here 1 year again. Last year we had the pleasure also to show a little bit of what our Green Sampa program in Montreal Connect event. And now I'm bringing today a little bit more of what we've learned so far and how things are really going and what we're working on here. And yes, this is really a good moment for us to share a little bit more. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Bárbara Almeida Ladeia. This QR code you're seeing on screen is my LinkedIn QR code, so I would be glad to give any answers, to offer any answers, and to receive any comments. I really would love to hear from you all. I'm a service designer. I've been working in social and environmental positive impact since 2017. And in 2021, last year, around August, I've been assigned to this beautiful challenge on Green Sampa program, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about on the next minutes. But before talking about Green Sampa program, I would like to tell you a little bit more about Sampa. Sampa is this beautiful city you can see on this picture. Sampa is the lovely nickname we give to São Paulo, which is the biggest city in country and biggest city in Latin America as well. I usually say that Sampa, São Paulo, in everything in São Paulo is kind of superlative. We have big numbers and huge numbers for everything. We are talking about over 12 million inhabitants. We are talking about the 13th biggest GDP among the cities in the world. And as I usually say, we are superlative in our numbers and also in our challenges. We have nowadays, the last measurement we got, with this huge population, we are generating around 18 tons of trash per day. Our streets and avenues are hosting more than 1 million vehicles here in the city. And for all of this, we have almost 2,000 square meters. Around 200,000 million square meters of green areas in our city. Of course, in a city like this, we have hundreds of initiatives aiming to constrain the carbon emissions, aiming to propel the circular economy, aiming to save our green areas and to protect and properly treat the 287 rivers that we have in our space, and also to develop smart cities initiatives, so on and so forth. So Green Sampa program has a little bit different profile. In Green Sampa, we aim basically to propel sustainability and regenerative initiatives through a different path. We are basically looking to explore scalability with potentials, while we are providing economic development, in fact. So our basic goal is to really promote the sustainable development ecosystem in general, propelling the products, the services, and the companies that are working to really create solutions that solve these environmental challenges that we face inside our city. Green Sampa program was created to nourish innovation and development on sustainability and regenerative matters. It was born as an initiative of the São Paulo's Economic Office in 2019, led by Aline Cardoso, which is our secretary right now. And nowadays, Green Sampa joined efforts with several city offices, companies, civil organizations in order to really create intelligence and also generate business opportunities capable of really moving this scenario towards the achievement of the global sustainable goals. So we are working based on the global sustainable goals and nourishing the innovation and the development, the entrepreneurship on these matters, looking for those companies, those startups that are creating those solutions, the solutions that we need to adopt in our city in general. Well, From 2019 up to 2021, we basically worked under 9 thematic axes, which are those you can see on screen. They were basically concentrated on producing and managing sustainable technology. So we were basically looking for companies for startups that were solving issues on those matters, on those 1 to 9 matters you can see on screen, but much more focused on the technology they developed to be applied on industry or on public services. And this year, 2022, we decided to include one axis more, to also embrace initiatives that concentrate efforts on sustainability literacy and also building sustainable habits among our citizens. The thing is that we understood, and of course looks kind of obvious, but when we are looking to startups, sometimes it looks quite different from this. But even though we have a lot of technologies and possibilities to work together with industry and with also all the technologies that we can spread around the city, we also need and still need a lot to raise and enhance this literacy on sustainability issues among our citizens. In a way, we can't do anything without them. So all those technologies, they really need the engagement and the good behavioring from those citizens looking to the sustainability issues. So that's why we actually included this 10th axis here, to also embrace those initiatives that are looking for literacy and building habits and everything. Our program, basically they reach indirectly, they reach 11 of the 17 global sustainable goals. So the thing here is that, of course, we don't reach all of them directly, which would be impossible for only one organization. But through the work of our startups, we are managing to go further on those global sustainable goals that you can see here on screen. And I'm sorry they are written in Portuguese. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get all of them in English. But I think by the color and by the position of them, you must know which one we are talking about here. So for the moment, we are basically working over 3 pillars of interventions, as we call, which are basically focused in developing startups and also propelling the business ecosystem in order to nourish the sector in a general point of view. I'll tell you a little bit of what we've been doing so far in each one of those pillars. First of all, startups incubation and acceleration is for sure our main thread until now. We've been working with this on this pillar since the beginning of the program in 2019. And what we've been doing is that we've been selecting 30 green techs, clean techs, and now specialized ed techs as well. We are selecting them for incubation and acceleration in our program. Those startups are basically creating and providing solutions for São Paulo's environmental challenges. So the requirements that we ask them when we are doing the selection process is basically facing the challenges that we face in the city, and also at least foreseeing these scalability possibilities over the solution. So on the solution, so we can understand how much we can contribute in propelling those startups and make them bigger locally and also globally. So these are some of the requirements that we've been asking for. On this year's selection process as well, we started to also value diversity on the companies, social diversity, and also gender and sexual orientation and everything diversity as also criteria for some points up on the selection process. Because we also understood on the last years that we had a very similar profile of all the entrepreneurs, like they were basically white and basically men and basically from the same social cut. So we decided to start some efforts to really offer some opportunities to more diversity on this approach, so we could have different approaches for the same environmental challenges that we actually face every day. So nowadays, we have completed around 60 startups incubated or accelerating, totalizing 100 qualification cycles. That means that some of the startups that we propel, that we select on this program, they stay with us for 2 or 3 cycles. This happens because we get our startups in any level of maturity, in any stage of maturity. So our main objective is always to take them one step further, one stage further, after each cycle. So in 10 months, they complete a cycle, which is a personalized learning trail. And our expectation is always to get on a startup in ideation moment and get them to the validation moment after 10 months. And if we get them in a validation, to get them to traction. And if we get them to traction, lead them after 10 months in a scale.
Ah, meu coração pede perdão, usa só sinceridade.
Barbara,
Sorry?
we didn't hear what you said. Your microphone was cut for the past minute or so.
Okay. It's on now? It's on now.
Yes,
Okay.
now it's working.
Perfect. Sorry.
It's
Sorry
okay.
for that. It was in this slide, or should I go to the...
Just what you just said, it just cuts like the past like minute or seconds,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do it again. No problem. Thank you, Nina. Thank you very much.
Of course.
So what I was saying is I was talking a little bit about this startup incubation and acceleration program, right? We are selecting around 30 green techs and specialized ed techs, that there are all startups that are basically creating and providing solutions for São Paulo's environmental challenges. This is one of the criterias of our selection. So we choose this companies looking to one of these criteria. And something that I was saying before also is that one of the criteria we recently added to our selection process as well was diversity, because we were observing the market and observing also the profile of our entrepreneurs. We were seeing that we have a very homogeneous characteristics, like most of the entrepreneurs were white men and from certain social frame. So we decided to include diversity as a criteria to sum up more points, and then to give some more advantage to companies that offer diversity for our ecosystem as well. And yes, another thing that I was saying, that we have the 60 startups incubated so far, but we totalized more than 100 qualification cycles. This means that some of those startups, they are basically they are staying with us more than one cycle, because we get them in any stage of maturity. So if we're getting them on ideation stage, we are basically trying to, our main goal, our North Star, is really to get them to validation stage in 10 months, which is the length of our cycle so far. So we are getting them from ideation and taking them to validation. If we're getting them on validation, we are trying to take them to traction. And if we're getting them in traction, we are trying to help them scaling up. So some of those startups, they've been with us for 2 or 3 cycles, for example. And this is something very good for us also, because we can also understand how this growth development helps happen on a general basis. And also, we've been working in active matchmaking with all kinds of stakeholders. And when I say all kinds of stakeholders, I mean public sector, private sector, civil organizations. We are basically using the influence that we have as a governmental initiative, as a city initiative, to put them in contact with important stakeholders, so they can expose their projects, they can expose their methods, they can try some proof of concepts together, so we can start this process of testing and this MVP thing before. they could do without those bridges built by us. So this is basically what we've been doing with this pillar of startup incubation and acceleration. And we've been collecting feedbacks since last year, since August of last year, and we took some very important learnings from that, from those feedbacks we've been collected. And maybe the main one is that really we should customize this program as much as possible, like mentoring and the activity and the active matchmaking that we do are the activities that are basically the preferred by the entrepreneur. So we are the activities that are with the highest perceived value from the entrepreneurs. That means that this acceleration program, like in a big scale, they tend to work if we can do a much more customized product and trail for them. So this is something that we've been working a lot on. Also, workshop and master classes and this kind of content that we also share, they are very welcome, but they are very welcome especially by the startups on ideation and validation phases. Once they have less experience, they also need a little bit more content to get more mature and to learn more on this issue. Those learnings also also brought some key challenges for us, and these are challenges that we are facing now. As a government institution, we don't ask for any equity from the companies, but we also don't offer them any financial support so far. So we've been seeking for opportunities worldwide through international support or programs, or also in corporate innovation initiatives to raise funds to also contribute financially to those startups. So then we can give like the full package with content and active matchmaking and mentoring and all the content and consultancy that they need, together with the financial support. But this is something that is on our targets, but that is something that we are not doing yet. We couldn't reach it yet. Also, we have some challenge here on impact assessment. Impact assessment culture is not completely widespread yet among this startup ecosystem. So we are facing some shortcomings on collecting this data from startups. We are trying to correct this through initiatives that are not only present the relevance of collecting these numbers, but also show the startups and show the entrepreneurs how they can take advantage from these numbers for their business as well. So we've been successful on this because we've been starting to collect some data from our accelerated startups as well. Here's just a picture of one of our workshops that happened in our place, and I'm going to talk about our place in the next few minutes. The other pillar that we have is sustainability, innovation, ecosystem forming, and propelling. Like, these big words are basically saying about propelling the ecosystem and make people talk and create intelligence together. So in the last year, we promoted 22 events, gathering more than 800 participants. We are talking about 250 local stakeholders mapped, and when we say stakeholders here, we are talking about specialized stakeholders like institutions, organizations, academy as well, all of them that are working on sustainability and working on regenerative initiatives. This number is basically the double that we could map last year. So we can see a growth in the sector, but we also can see a growth in the way we are doing business on this sector. And we also gathered more than 100 and 1,500 visits on Green Sampa Hub. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about Green Sampa Hub because we're very proud of our place, of our home. The Green Innovation Center, which we call Green Sampa Hub, is our physical headquarters here in São Paulo. Even though most of our activities as a hub, they happen in a hybrid mode, we had really adopted the hybrid mode for the activities. We hold a physical space with 90 workstations, event area, internet connection, and all the infrastructure to host our entrepreneurs in general, all the entrepreneurs that are working on the green economy, but especially to the startups supported by the program. We call them residents. They have their space reserved to work and to interact in our space. So it's just like a co-working space, but it's a co-working space focused specifically on solutions, on startups that are producing solutions for the environmental issues. Our biggest learning on this matter is that one of the challenges that we wanted to face on the last year was to bring more of the stakeholders that are not only our residents but also different stakeholders to our space, so they could we could amplify the richness of our hub, so and also nourish this ecosystem, as I was saying before. So we understood that to do that, we should really provide relevant events, debates, relevant content that could bring those people to our space so we can occupy this space better. For example, in the next week, we are going to host and broadcast a panel of specialists to discuss the local reverse logistic legislation, for example. So we are bringing important matters for the sector to our place, and we are offering the space and all of the also the content, so we can bring them to debate and to really make our Green Innovation Center, Bruno Covas, which is the real name of the building we're in, to make it really the home and the home of all the sustainability intelligence in the city. This you can see some pictures of some of the events that we hosted in this last 12 months. And here you can see a little bit of how our space looks like. And I usually like to tell the story of this space because it sounds like poetry sometimes. This building we are in, this building you're seeing here in the picture, was a trash incinerator in the past. So around like 20 years ago, it was a trash incinerator there that was basically incinerating contaminated trash, hospital trash, and from industries and everything. And after big efforts on recovering the surroundings and recovering the building and renovating the building and everything, we made up to transform this trash incinerator into a green innovation center. So this is a certain kind of avatar of what we want to do in the city and what is our main objective that we want to do in the whole city. We want to transform things and to put them, give it a new meaning for them, like remaining them in general. Also, our third pillar is the pillar of business generating. This is pretty much the youngest pillar that we've been working on. So this is something that we are trying to enhance as well. In this pillar, we have over 10 interactions completed among the startups that we nourish and stakeholders on private and public sector. And we also promoted two business rounds in our space as well. And here our main objective is really to get deals done. We were talking before about like nourishing the startups and also propelling those startups. We are trying to nourish and propel the whole ecosystem. And now we have this third pillar that we are basically working towards getting deals done. And when I say deals done, I mean with private and public sector, because since we have so much innovation coming from those startups, we also use this privileged position that we have as government to put them inside the system and also to show to the city and to all of the stakeholders in the public sector what has been developed here, so they can early adopt those solutions and start to build this transformation of the city that we want to see. and with private sector as well. We have a lot of companies and organizations that are very focused on ESG and all this and all the social and environmental goals. So we are basically connecting our startups with those companies so they can make business together, they can sell, they can create proof of concept, so they can really grow together in a certain open innovation system. So it's done like this. Our idea is always to potentialize opportunities and to gain scalability of the solutions that they offer to us, that the startup offer to us. So the idea is always to make these connections very rich connections and very effective connections as well. Here are the pictures of the business round. The last business round we've done, which was really successful. There were a lot of possibilities that were raised here, and some some deals that were really done and started from here. So this is something that we are really proud about. We had in our space by that day, we had 30 companies that were basically talking in one-to-one meetings. So we had rounds of 30 minutes in one-to-one, so the startup could show their solution and their opportunities, and the company could also tell what they need, what are their demands, so they can make this matching process there. So this is what we've been doing so far. This is the pillars that we've been working on this last year, and now we've been more focused on following metrics and impact assessment. The program is quite young for a city like this, for a city this size, with those superlative numbers, as I told you before. So for the first 3 years was not that possible to collect sufficient data in order to provide a clear impact measurement. So we were working much more on MVPs and trying to prototype some stuff. Like the process were much more on trying to understand what works and what not. And since August of this year, we've started to collect metrics from our startups, from the startups we accelerate, as a way to measure our own impact. So considering that our main objective at this point is to nourish the ecosystem in order to escalate and amplify the positive effects generated by those startups, our main metric are based on the company performance. So we're talking about revenue, number of clients, number of employees, and also financial balance of those companies in general. And directly, of course, we are looking for the social and environmental impact generated by those startups. So to also have these metrics on our side. So we are also collecting how much impact, social and environmental impacts they generate, so we can understand how much we are helping to generate on the city as well. We've been also measuring how much are we actually propelling the ecosystem by the evolution, by measuring the curves of evolution of the numbers of event promoted, number of participants in each event, and also the number of third-party event that we are invited to appear, to speak, or applying to participate and really activate this ecosystem, even if it's not promoted only by us. And for the business generation activities, we are basically counting the numbers of partnerships and deals made on our initiatives, such as businesses and investment rounds, for example, the deals that we intermediate, so we can understand how much we're being effective also in this pillar. We started collecting these numbers in August, so I expect for the next Montreal Connect, we can talk a little bit about the development of these numbers with more precise, more accurate impact assessment here. Well, for the next steps, we have on our target increasing the number of stakeholders mapped and engaged in our initiatives. So we are always aiming to bring more of those stakeholders to our space and to our events, and also to talk more together with our startups, and of course more deals done and everything. We are also developing, we also aim to develop training program for green jobs, aiming here to reach and train citizens under vulnerable conditions, so we can also connect them to employment opportunities, so we can, again, once more, offer more dynamic, dynamize actually this ecosystem and to make it more profitable in general and more valuable for all the stakeholders. We are also very focused in raising awareness about social and environmental impact business modeling in the entrepreneur communities. What we see here in São Paulo is that there is this initial curve of the awareness of the social business concept, social business modeling and everything. So we see now that the entrepreneurs in general, they are every time more interested in this kind of modeling, and we really want to be one of these influencers that can help them to model their business to look for social and environmental impacts, inspired by Professor Mohamed Yunus, of course. And for the end, we are also creating a soft land supportive structure to host international startups that are seeking for the Brazilian market and vice versa. Of course, we are also trying to create some partnerships that we could take to some partnerships with other countries and other cities around the world that could also help our startups to internationalize and to start their overseas operation. So we understand that nourishing this ecosystem in a general way can really potentially accelerate the 2030 agenda through amplifying the innovation produced all around the globe, targeting sustainability and environmental regeneration. This is something that is always in the back of my mind once we are talking about sustainable development goals. So they're global. We also understand that they should seek for global synergies, and this is basically what I seek here to understand which are the global synergies that we can have. So here are my contacts. I would be glad to get an email, any message, whatever you guys wanna talk. Maybe talk a little bit more about São Paulo, about our challenges, or make any comments. It was really a pleasure to share with you a little bit more about what we are doing here in São Paulo. And I really would be delighted to offer any further information for you all. For the next minutes, we have 4 pitches here that were recorded by 4 of our accelerated companies. They're telling a little bit more about their businesses and what they do. The entrepreneurs are here, so after we show you all these videos here, there will be the last one, Marcelo, which is here also. He's going to be presenting live his speech here. Of course, if you have any questions, you please be welcome to send it to us. I'll be really glad to. I'll be really glad to be answering here and to invite you to our roundtable after those 5 pitches, right? So, guys, I will ask you to tell me if you guys can listen to the video properly here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Thomas Martin. I'm a climate scientist, CEO, and co-founder of MeteoIA. At MeteoIA, we are specialized in the development of artificial intelligence model to predict the impact of climate in climate-sensitive institutions. Today, I'm going to show you briefly our solution and services. The core of our solution is the MeteoIA system. The MeteoIA system permits the automatic development of artificial intelligence model to predict climate impact operationally. Basically, it takes a complete picture of the Earth system physical state to predict anything that depends on climate globally. We use it in different kind of application, and here you can see the diagram for the water, food, energy supply chain, where you have the natural resources, the energy production, food production, transportation, up to the distribution. Each of these components is impacted by climate variability. Its efficiency or productivity depend on weather. Under good weather condition, the efficiency of the component is maximum. Under bad weather condition, the efficiency of the component is minimum. So with the flexibility of the MeteoIA system, we connect it in the different institutions which are responsible for these components. And with the MeteoIA system, we make prediction of the impact of the climate in the operation and planning of the institution. With this information, the institution can improve its decision-making and increase its resiliency in front of climate variability. Today, our products are specific dashboard for energy trading, especially here in Brazil, and specific dashboard for insurance companies. But also we provide custom dashboard for our clients, as well as customized analytics and forecasting models. Please, if you want to know more, contact us at MeteoIA.com or through LinkedIn at MeteoIA Company, or send me an email at thomas@meteoia.com. Hope to see you there. Hi, everyone. I'm Thomas Martin.
So just to say, Thomas is here. If anyone wants to talk a little bit more and know a little bit more about MeteoIA, he's here to put some more information if you need. I'm showing you now Valora. Valora is one of those startups that stayed with us for more than one cycle, for example, and we are really proud to show also what they've been done so far.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marcela from Valora. We are a clean tech company based in Brazil. We have been working for recyclable waste valorization and sustainability. In Brazil, the recycling rate is stuck at 4%. Consumers think that companies should provide more information about recycling, and on the other hand, the industry is facing problems with the consistency of supply and the quality of materials. Even the best materials are likely to have gone through unsafe working conditions. So we want to transform this scenario into an opportunity. São Paulo area alone produces 9 million tons of solid waste per year, and 30% of that waste is recyclable. The generation of waste increases in Brazil, but the proper destinations do not keep up. There are legal obligations and sectoral agreements that create opportunities for startups like Valora. So what we are doing is creating a new business model to support the recycling chain. Our solution is focused on deviating post-consumer packaging from landfills, and we have developed two main solutions to boost reverse logistics and recycling programs. The first one is Valora Coin Platform. The platform is an offset program to recover recyclable materials. It uses blockchain technology to certify that waste has been recovered. One Valora coin credit certifies that 1 kilo of recyclables has been recovered. The platform was designed for companies and individuals to take responsibility for their footprint by financing the collection of materials through our business. For example, let's assume a strategy for plastic recycle. 2 kilos of plastic is equivalent to 10 kilos of mixed recyclables. The user acquires the corresponding Valora coins in our platform. In turn, we collect the equivalent materials and take them to recycling centers. The whole process is certified with an NFT containing all data. The NFTs will be negotiable in the future, and the trade can happen with brands and companies that improve of the reverse flow. The second solution is Valora's roadmap to increase the recyclable circularity. We are creating a new flow collecting materials that will go to landfills and deviating it to recycling centers. Our operation is carbon-free since we use electric vehicles. After sorting, the products are sold directly to the recycling industries, and the invoice sales of materials are used to generate recycling credits. We submit the invoices to an independent verifier, that's the custody center, and it attests the veracity, uniqueness, and traceability of the collected material. So now we are looking for those interested in offtake agreements up to 36 months. We are already working with companies that need to achieve ESG goals and recovering post-consumer packaging. We have projects running to recover plastics, glass, coffee pods, and more. Our monetization model is by selling Valora coins, recyclable materials, recycling credits, and special projects designed to meet the ESG agenda. We run operations in the city of São Paulo and Belo Horizonte here in Brazil, but we can develop new operation centers with partners willing to invest in our solution. We have a great and diverse team. Our founders are professionals of the sector, having acted as senior executives at multinationals for over 20 years. And Valora is accredited by several initiatives and study centers in Brazil that recognize us as a positive impact company. We were recently certified as a B company as well. So now we really need partners who are willing to invest in our offset programs and we need to equip our headquarters to optimize our sorting system. We need to expand our electric fleet to reach more places, recover more materials, and bring more impacts. So if you're interested in changing the future of waste market with us, please reach us. Feel free to visit our website to see our social medias and check out what we've been doing on our own. I'll be here if you have any questions, and thank you for your time. We look forward to hear from you. Bye-bye.
Good. This was Valora. Marcela is always also here with us, so if you have any doubts, you can address her directly after the round of our pitches here. We also have CUBi. CUBi was one of our first accelerated company startups since the beginning of the program. If I'm not mistaken, they were on the very first round. So it's funny because every time I watch all the pitches of all the startups, I'm always like with this face, very proud of what we are seeing and what these guys are doing here. It's real impact, really. So this is CUBi now. Rafael is here also. Rafael is the representative of CUBi, which is this next pitch you're going to watch. He's here with us if you want to address any questions.
My name is Rafael. I'm co-founder here at CUBi Energy, which is a startup mainly focused on helping medium and large businesses to deal with their energy management decisions on a day-to-day basis. We have been working with a lot of different companies in some different verticals in the market. We have mining companies, food companies, plastics, rubber, agribusinesses, services, and so forth, so on. The main thing that connects all of these managers is that there's no premium in electron in the market. So even though they are producing different stuff, they still have the same challenges and barriers every day. So, and that's why we actually created something to use this scenario in our advantage using technology. One thing that is very common to all of these people is that since they're dealing with a lot of stuff in the day-to-day basis, they do have other responsibilities. Energy is just one of them. And usually they feel that they're leaving money on the table, and they're probably right. And our technology is focused on dealing with this challenge, trying to get a little bit of the money that is on the table and bring it back to the companies in the energy subject. First part of every project, we connect and try to harness data. We use a lot of IoT smart meters from different vendors, brands, or whatever. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, all we want is the data that is going to be generated. We use a lot of context data, which is production data or temperature data or whatever, it doesn't matter. Anything that helps us make more complex analysis to understand the company's situation. And we also use energy bills. The documents in Brazil is very common to have hundreds of different templates for every state, for every place, for every company. So it's very, very hard when you have thousands or hundreds of places to deal with, to manage, to actually use it in your advantage. So these are the main ways that we connect data. And then everything goes to our cloud. And in the cloud, we do what we have to do, that is process and try to assess, look for opportunities to make something better out of that customer. So first one, process. We have a lot of love for this part, is the best one to do it. This is the part that we find the biggest ROI in the processes, which mainly translates into how much energy the company is using, but it's just because they are poorly managing the consumption. They don't need to buy new things. They don't need to change anything that relates to using money, but they need to improve the process itself. This is the one that actually brings a lot to the table. But we also have a lot of different algorithms to assess the technical side of machinery and the billing, especially for the bills that the companies receive. There's a lot to be done and a lot that we can actually extract to use in a day-to-day project. And after we collect, process, we just give it back to the customer through a web platform. Very simple, very colorful, very easy to navigate. Most of our customers, they are not specialists in energy. So they need to understand what's happening. And for the bigger customers, we allow them to customize 100% of the solution and just see what they need to see at the time that they need to see, so they can achieve their own goals. Just making here stop and just pulling it all together, like wrapping up. CUBi is not an engineering company. We're not a consulting company. We're mainly the player that has the technology to help the tool to improve the management decision regarding to energy inside companies. So decision makers use our tool to just see what they have to do, what are the first steps, and what are the other things that they should push to the side, because there's not going to be a big ROI or the payback isn't enough, so they can actually focus on what is important and what is not. Thank you very much for the invitation. It was a pleasure. My contacts are here, and we can talk a little bit better later. Thank you very much.
So this one was CUBi on energy sector. Rafael is also here if you guys want to have any more questions. All those startups here also, they are with their profiles fulfilled here in the platform of Montreal Connect. So you're welcome to reach them through the platform as well. So now we're going to show SaveAdd. SaveAdd is a startup that we recently selected for the acceleration. They came in the batch that we started in August, and they are providing solution on the food sector as well. Salvador, which is the entrepreneur, he's here together with us as well if you need any more information. And he also has his profile on the platform, so you can reach him through there as well. So I'm going to play it here.
Hello, my name is Salvador, and I am a founder of SaveAdd, generating values for everyone. When we analyze the situation of food waste, 12% of everything that is wasted in Brazil occurs in retail, and this number represents a minimal value of $2 billion in loss for everyone. The way to deal with this problem can be operational improvements or destinations, but if done wrong, it can be even worse. Therefore, our path is establish actions and the relationships via AI based on business rules for new uses that reduce loss in retail and industry made by our app. With this, we release surpluses, learn and reevaluate process, aiming to reduce losses as much as possible today and in the future, using all of the expertise and the relationship of a champion team. We have already validated our ability to save 500 tons of food through social sales or donations per month, with the potential to generate 150,000 reais in revenue for our customers every month. We have already qualified to operate in 7 states in Brazil. To work with food, we co-created with Fome Tudo Association the Fome Tudo app, targeting to reduce food waste in different players in the different countries. For reducing waste, we started analyzing the 4 big points of the strategy against waste, based on surpluses to understand what have been done to reduce the waste. With this, we identified the essential pillars to work with the company, and with our artificial intelligence, we classified whether it will be sold, donated, and what time. We also defined for who we need to offer, using our system to qualify considering the profile and conditions for the previous decisions, and selected who is better for each case and moment, creating the personalized governance process against waste. All of this takes place in our app, which makes the relationship happen and records the transactions. In the end, generate online reports to identify how to improve the management of surpluses. We increase revenue for those who sell or donate, reducing costs for those who receive, and we will improve the capacity of the operation to reduce loss and generate great media exposure. Our differential is the ability to modularize and adapt actions according to what is most important in the context, enable financial health, operation easy, and security. Our business model is based on the implementation and analysis subscriptions of the managing relationships and on the reports and by success fee of selling transactions. And we seek to increase the efficiency of the production chain, providing better decisions and safety during the process, reducing costs created by the losses which affect companies and society, and create options to attempt every situation, no matter if it happens in Brazil, Asia, or Africa. And I invited all of you to be part of this initiative, to follow us in social media and help to increase the solutions for not only for Brazil, but all of the world. Thank you very much.
Cool. So this was Salvador with SaveAdd, also bringing some more artificial intelligence to our sector here. And now I'll invite Marcelo. I'll put him here in the stage so he can also present his company as well. Let me see if I can manage it here. Is it visible for everyone? Let me see. Okay, cool. So Marcelo, please feel free, open your mic and your cameras as well, and you can tell me where to skip to the next slide. Okay.
Hello, thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Marcelo. I'm very, very happy and very glad to be here, not only with my entrepreneurial friends and partners, but at this cool event. Well, I am the CEO and founder of this beautiful startup called Bom App, a startup that born to join the movement of of fighting the wasting of food. The next, please, Barbara. Talking about the wasting food, the problem of the food waste is, I think, is one of the huge problem of our generation. Not only if we think about the economic impact that one third of everything that we produce is wasted, but it's deep problem because it's also a social and environment problem. Salvador and his startup, they do a tremendous job in this issue. Well, so we think about, well, we have this problem. We are looking the movement in other countries against the food waste. What with hey Jesus, what can we do? The next, please, Barbara. So we found the next, please. We found the Bom App. This is a technology startup, a food tech that initially we developed an app that connects um, stores, supermarkets, bakeries that we call the surplus food and put in our application with 80% of discount. And this movement in this arrangement, we create a value in all the chain and the users, the owners. So we make a new model of consumption, consuming. The next, please. The next. Over these years, or over the years, outro, por favor. We generate more than 4 tons of good food that we sell in our app. But we realize that the problem is, like I said, is deep, and it's not only provide a new model of consuming, but thinking about the whole chain. So Bom App start to develop another features of technology. Can you go further, please, Barbara? The another one. The another one. Perfect. So we start to develop other products. Why other products? Because we realize that if we can bring transparency, we can bring real data from this problem of food waste and the problem of the pre-consumption, the consumption, and post-consumption. It will be great. So we start to develop another tools with blockchain technology, tools with artificial intelligence, and so we start to planning this like a product for public politics. So we implement here in like 4 states right now, and we are right now very happy for the results. But we know that this is a very beginning of this journey, and being at the Green Sampa ecosystem is been a huge pleasure to us, not only from the environment that we are exposed, but for the partnership. Here, when I start saying that I was so happy to be here for my entrepreneurship friends, but really they were my friends, but now they are my partners. So this is the kind of connections that we made here in Green Sampa. Can you go to the last slide, please, Barbara? Thank you very much for the attention. Muito obrigado. We expect that we can receive you here in São Paulo to show you live how it works, our technology.
Thank you, Marcelo. Thank you very much. Marcelo also was one of this last batch startup here, an entrepreneur that we brought on this last batch of selected startups, and we are really proud also to have you, Salvador, and all of you guys here together with us. So now we have some few minutes more. If you guys have any questions or if you want to talk something, I guess I'm going to bring everybody to the round table here. So whoever wants to talk a little bit or to maybe make some questions, we'll be ready to answer. Let me just see if I'm managing the technology properly here. I think so, right? Nice. So we have, cool. I guess it's done here. So just a few questions to start. I would like to ask first, start by the last, right? I would like to ask Thomas, how did you come to the solution, Thomas? How was it for you? How did you started to think about MeteoIA?
Well, I think our solution started a few years ago with the co-founder here, is Gabriel. We were at the University of São Paulo, and we saw the potential of using artificial intelligence to predict the impact of climate in society. So it was in 2017, and from then, like we worked a lot, like coding and developing the software. And then we enter in contact with you because, with the Green Sampa program to have some support, either from some mentorship, so to know how to run a company, because we were scientists and we didn't know nothing about running a business. So the Green Sampa program helped us to organize, at least show us like the path to build the different departments in a company. So that was very nice, this program. Oh, you are muted.
Thank you for warning. So this is a really rich path. Like it's very enhancing path when you come from science and you also turn up to be a businessman, right? It's really interesting to see how much they grew over those last year. I remember when I arrived at first at Green Sampa in August, there were 2 of them on the table, and now when we see to their table in our on our residence, there are like 8 people. So they grew a lot, and this is quite nice to see also. Thank you, Toma. And then Marcela, you work at basically in a lot of startups in the environmental sector, right? What do you see as a high potential here in São Paulo for the environmental startups and this kind of business? What do you see as the biggest potential of our city?
It was for me or for Marcelo?
No, for you.
Okay.
Marcelo is the next.
Okay. Well, I feel we have a lot of opportunities. As you said, Sampa is a great hub with many, many startups working to bring innovative and green initiatives. And I think that if there's anyone here watching us, if you're willing to invest in our technologies, if you're curious to know what we do, reach everybody here. I think the Montreal Connect event provides a really good platform so we can talk about it as well. But of course, I'm going to be focused on the waste management programs. I think we have a lot of opportunities. And well, we are here to help everybody who wants to achieve ESG goals and who wants to really transform what we are doing in the cities. And I feel that a lot of coworkers here agree with me.
This is true. Well, waste is certainly a big problem here in our city, right?
Yeah.
I guess by the numbers that I brought here at the beginning of this presentation, we really have a lot of room to work here, a lot of ground to work here. This is very nice. And this is very nice also for Marcelo, the way he has been like working for the last years with Bom App in the beginning and then now trying different sectors with the same technology. So this is something that I would like to ask to you, Marcelo. This is not your first endeavor, right? You had other businesses before and other partners as well. And I would like to ask you, what do you think is the biggest challenge to be a startup in the sustainable and the sustainable sector, environmental sector in general?
This is a tricky question, Barbara.
I left this to you.
Well, you know, I think for doing anything in life, you have to have like the purpose. It means like a Disney stuff, but no, but we need that purpose because the journey of the entrepreneurship is more from bad days than good days. So if you don't like what do you think that if you don't believe in what you work for, I think the project dies because the consistency of doing what do you believe that you are doing is the principle, is the main of the journey. It's not the money for the money. I think here we are all green techs and a green hub and a green event. And if you ask anyone here, it's not about the money. It's about the impact. Words like that, it makes sense for us. Impact, changing. You know, when we are saying about how do you see the Green Sampa space with Thomas and his crew there, and this is the kind of stuff that is motivating me. Why? Because as more people working in projects with a purpose, you know, I think it's, I don't know how to say in English, but it makes me like chicken. I don't know how to say, but chicken. But when we talk about the purpose,
Chills. Give you chills.
yes, when we talk about the purpose. So this is for me the main motors of my business or what I do.
This is good to hear. Like working with a purpose, it makes the work even better and even nicer, right? Salvador here, he's from SaveAdd, and the challenge you're facing is the challenge of hunger, right? So it's one of the biggest challenges worldwide. It's not only about Brazil, but it's about a lot of different countries and continents all over the world. And I would like to ask you, Salvador, if you can open your mic and also your camera to tell us a little bit more about why food, why this subject propelled you, and what do you think is going to be your biggest impact? I guess we lost him. Oh, dropped connection. Oh, that's a pity. That's such a pity. Let's see if he comes back in a few minutes. If not, let's see. I don't think so. So guys, I'm really glad to present you all. I used to say to you all, this is something that we say in person, right? That we usually say in person. I look like a proud mommy looking to you all and seeing how much you grew over this last year we've been together. This was really amazing. I would like to thank you all that were watching us, Eduardo and the other people that was also here, but they already left. I'm glad this meeting is going to be recorded and also displayed for 6 months on Montreal Connect platform. And we are going to be really glad and delighted to answer to any questions. So you guys feel free to reach us through the platform, through our mails and everything. We are really aiming to create new and fertile connections to all of us. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you, guys. Thank you, startups, for being here. Also, it's always an honor to present you to the world, and we hope to see each other on the next Montreal Connect. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you.
Thanks.